Welcome back to the Legacy Podcast. My name is Olisya Grant, co-founder of The Matrix Legacy, and this is episode number 6. And this is the show where we challenge the ideas that create a poverty mindset. We look for ways to create generational wealth, and we build a blueprint together for success. And I was having a few conversations this week with some people in my circle who are almost paralyzed in their place because they have no idea what's to come. They don't know what move to make next. Should I pursue my business? Should I just try to wait this out? Should I save? Should I invest? There's just so many what ifs or should I's that no action is being taken at all. And in line with that, I was listening to an audio by a gentleman named James Clear, and he's the author of Atomic Habits. And in Atomic Habits, he speaks about having the end goal defined. Define what your goal is. But the systems or the approach in which we take to get to those end goals is almost more important. So, for example, we hear a lot about manifestation and creating vision boards and picturing the space where we want to be. And I'm the same. I have a vision board up in my room. Like I'm all for that. Absolutely putting yourself in the place that you want to be before you actually get there. I do believe that's very important. However, if the difference between your current reality and that goal that you're trying to get to are polar opposites, it's almost discouraging for you to want to continue to pursue it. For example, if your goal is, I want to walk off my job. I don't ever want to have to work a job again. And in order for me to get there, I'm going to have to replace this income because my current position or where I am right now in life is I'm living paycheck to paycheck. So me visualizing getting to that end goal of, being financially free, completely stable, it just seems so far away. It's almost like nothing I can do today seems like it will greatly influence or impact me getting to that 5 or 10 year goal or 1 or 2 year goal of being financially free and being able to walk off my job. But if we focus more so on the system that we are using to get there, as opposed to the actual end goal, it might be a little easier. So for example, I spoke about this before. If you break down your yearly income into what you make per day, then you can focus on what things can I do in order to replace this daily income. Because if you can replace it one time for one day, then you can just duplicate that and you can keep doing it over and over until you get to your goal. If your system to replace that daily income is to reach out to 10 new people every day on social media, or go to one new trade fair every single month, or write a blog every single day so you can get new leads. The system that you focused on, you've built that muscle memory to do actions every single day that are going to get you towards your goal. So yes, the goal is defined, but if you're focusing more so on building that habit of doing the same small things repeatedly every single day, then it seems so much more attainable in order to get to that end goal. So that's really what we want to focus on today, is how do we break things down into chunks in order to get that correct perspective so we're not discouraged on our journey to achieve the goals that we've set out for ourselves. Another one of the examples he gave in the book is like, let's say you're trying to split a big stone into 2 pieces. You could chip at it, keep chipping, chip 1, 2, 3, no impact. It almost looks like you're not even doing anything. All the way up to you're chipping away, you've done it 99 times now, and the rock is still not split. But then chip number 101, the rock is going to split in half. So it doesn't mean 101 was any different than 7. It was still the same action, still the same system, but those little efforts over and over repeatedly will get you the overall success of being able to split that rock. So what happens to the average person is they get discouraged by chip number 22 and they say, well, what the heck is the point of this? I've been going over and over, I'm in the same spot, nothing is happening, and they stop right there. So they never achieve that overall goal and they just move on to the next one. However, if they just focus on the process of just doing that, maybe every single day, coming back and doing 2 more chips. I've still made that step. I've still taken the effort. I'm still trying. I'm still pushing. But I've broken it down into chunks where every single day I'm just going to put 2 new chips into the rock. So even if it takes me a year or 2 years to get through it, the goal is still going to be accomplished. And even after it's accomplished, I can go and split some more rocks because I know the system. I understand how to find success because I've been able to put something in place every single day to bring me just a little bit closer to that overall end goal. So here's a personal example. One of my worst habits is coming from work, you are tired. I don't want to be thinking about putting away my stuff. I don't want to be thinking about that. So whenever I'm changing from my work clothes into my casual, relaxing clothes, I'll just hang it up on the hook. But what happens is the whole week will go by, maybe a week and a half, and I've continuously hung my stuff up every single day onto that hook to the point now where there's no more space. And then I turn to the basket and then start filling that up until I get to the point where I'm like, all right, this is ridiculous. I got to clean it up. So you spend a couple hours, maybe an hour, 2 hours, putting everything back in the place that it should be. And then 5 days later, we're in the same spot that we started. Why? Okay, cool. I accomplished the goal of cleaning my room and putting my stuff away, but I didn't think about the reasons why it got this way in the first place. And the reasons it got this way in the first place is because I have a bad habit of, instead of just taking that one extra step to the closet and putting my stuff on a hanger, I'm choosing to hang it on the hook. So regardless of if I met my goal, what's the point? Because I'm still just going to regress every single time back into that state because I haven't addressed the reason why it got messy in the first place. Another reason it keeps getting messy is because I just don't like it. I don't like having to spend time putting things away. As crazy as that sounds, I know some people are neat freaks. I'm not a neat freak. I'm a clean person, just not necessarily a neat freak. And so the thing about it is, like, another thing I learned from that book, I keep going back to Atomic Habits. It's really incredible. He was speaking about, well, why don't you try to group things that you don't enjoy doing with things that you do enjoy doing? So I truly do not enjoy cleaning up my clothes. I don't enjoy it. I know it has to get done. It's something I need to do. It's not something that I love to do. An example that he gives is if you don't enjoy doing the dishes, for example, but what you really do enjoy is coming home and sitting on the couch and watching something on Netflix. If you group those two things together and say, I can only watch Netflix after I finish the dishes, then you're going to be motivated to do those dishes because you know the reward is Netflix after. You're more open and almost excited to go do that run because you know the faster you get that accomplished, the faster you get your reward. And knowing that there's a reward at the end of it will allow you to keep pushing. So now I've grouped it together where I'm big on social media. I love, scrolling through the newsfeed, connecting with new people. So I've grouped those two things together now where once I come home, I cannot touch my phone until I've put my things away for the day. It's very easy not to do the things that are not fun to do, or it's not to do the things that are hard to do. But in this time of uncertainty, the easiest thing we can do is throw in the towel, sink into the couch, and try to bury our heads, hoping all of this will end. But if that is the habit that we're putting in place for ourselves, every time we meet a challenge, that is going to be our action. That's going to be our go-to. Success truly comes from doing the things that are hard consistently until it becomes easy. This is not a time to forget about your goals and to bury your head. This is time to dig down and truly see what you're made of. So just going back to that for 1 second, saying not doing the hard things is easy, right? For example, when it comes to money management, we hear the example all the time of people winning the lottery and then within a couple months they go right back to bankrupt because their goal was always, of course, their goal of playing in the lottery was to obtain enough money to become what they would classify as rich or financially free. So they were so focused on that goal and investing in those lottery tickets, but they forgot the systems that needed to be in place to manage all of that money that they had earned. So their current habits is as soon as you get money, spend it. However, if they had focused on the system and said, okay, every single month I'm going to sit down for 1 hour and I budget and I take a look at how much money I have coming in, how much my fixed expenses cost, how much irregular or miscellaneous expenses come in, and I delegate my income based on that. Those are the people that if they were to win the lottery, they're going to be okay forever because they've already put in the work. They've done the hard stuff of sitting down for that hour of unenjoyable time to talk about their finances So now when they have a lump sum of money, everything is already in place. They already understand what to do and how to maneuver. But somebody who has never taken the time and done the hard stuff is just going to blow that money and be worse off than how they started once that money runs out. This is the time where we have to face the hard stuff. I have a business partner in New Jersey, and she has a phrase where she says, pressure will either bust your pipes or turn you into a diamond. So it'll either fold you or it'll elevate you. And I truly understand the sensitivity of this time because I have people close to me who are losing people left and right. I've had somebody in my social circle pass away, not to COVID-19, but regardless, she still passed, and we're in a situation where we can't even attend the funeral. And so that takes a big emotional toll, and it's very important to take the time to assess where you are mentally and emotionally. But there's two ways that you can look at that same situation. One person could look at a situation where multiple people have passed, or, they don't know where their next dollar is coming from, or, bills are starting to pile up and there's no clear path out. One person will look at that and say, well, you know what, what's the point? If we're all going to pass anyways, if, people are going to lose their businesses anyways, and people are going to go into debt, what's the point? I'm just going to sit here and wait it out and see what happens. Another person will look at that same situation and say, you know what? I'm so blessed to still have life. I'm so blessed that I can still breathe. I'm so blessed that I still have access to things such as the internet, where I can go and learn something and figure out a new way to build up who I am and what I'm becoming. Challenge accepted. The difference between those two people is one understands that you can only control the controllables. The other person is choosing powerfully to take the easy way out and just hope for the best instead of guaranteeing the best and securing the best based on the things that they can control. A lot of people are letting this situation affect their character, turning into people who they wouldn't regularly be, talking to people in ways that they wouldn't regularly talk to them just because they're under pressure. I was talking to a cashier the other day getting my groceries out, and she said, you have no idea the nasty things that people have been saying to me. I'm so thankful that you would take a moment to ask me how I'm doing. Thank you for that. And that astonished me, because you could tell that that is not something that happens on the regular. But people under pressure have just given up. They're not doing what is hard at this point. They're choosing to just lay down and wait. And they don't care who's affected in the meantime. But character is one of those controllables. Character, your attitude, the way you respond to things, those are things you can control. But if you let the pressure get to you, well, then you forget those three things. And then what's left? Our emotions will make this pandemic seem like the absolute end of the world. But if we look at it for truly what it actually is, this is a moment of pause. This is a moment of reflect. This is a moment of rebuild. This is a time we can truly take advantage of, or we can let this time take advantage of us and set us back from all the work that we've already put in up until this point. So that's essentially the building block that I want to leave with you today. We've got to take our big, audacious goals and break them down into chunks so that they're not as overwhelming. So if the overall goal is to get out of this and to visualize us what it's going to be like once all of this is over, got to break that down into chunks and say, okay, what can I do today to put me in a better space once this is all over? Reverse engineer and focus on the daily habits that you can put into place. Maybe you want to create a routine where, okay, before you were just waking up 30 minutes after your alarm went off, running out the door, eating your food on the way to work. Well, now, okay, cool. I'm going to wake up at this time every single day. I'm going to read in the morning. I'm going to plan out my day. I'm going to eat a healthy lunch. Maybe I'll work out a little bit. And then I give my time to my job or my business or my family, whatever it is, after I've taken that me time. Got to break things down into chunks so they don't seem so impossible. I don't even like using that term, but I understand that's how a lot of us see it. It feels very impossible looking at my situation now and envisioning what I want it to be. There's such a discrepancy. It's almost like, what's the point? But we've truly got to break it down into little bite-sized pieces and take it for what it is and not what our emotions make it feel like. Our perspective on things in life is strongly based on our ability to break things down into chunks. So just take some time and break it down. Look at what your goal is. Maybe write it down on paper so it's defined. But then break it down into what is the system? What is the action I can take every single day that will lead me into that goal? So that once I reach it, it's not just done and over with, but I am now that person who can consistently do this over and over with whatever goal that I choose to achieve. I really hope this was able to, give some light to anybody who's in a place of uncertainty and panic and fear right now. Don't let this time consume you, because we're never going to be able to get it back. We're going to look at this one day and say, man, there's so much more I could have done, but I chose not to because I got frozen in fear. And that's okay. It's a natural reaction. We don't know what's coming next, so instead of pushing forward, we just stop. But that's the easy thing to do. Challenge yourself to do what is hard so you can create a better life, a better situation, a better outlook for yourself, for your family, for the people who are watching you, waiting for you to succeed, so it can feel like permission for them to succeed. If this is helping anybody at all, share this with a friend. Let me know. Leave a comment for me. Like, subscribe. I'm on all streaming platforms, and I will be here every single week so we can create a new building block as we build this blueprint for success together. I truly hope that you could find peace during this time, even if it's just a little glimmer. Just find that little speck and hang on to it and allow it to pull you through whatever you're going through right now. And don't just lay down and cover up your head. Do what is hard today. Do what is hard for now, so that you can have a forever of easy. That's all I've got for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you next week. Let's build a legacy. Until next time.